Welcome back to another video. We are reacting to the Carabao Cup final between Chelsea and Liverpool that ended 1-0 to Liverpool after extra time, thanks to a Virgil van Dijk header right at the end of extra time as well. Like, it was near the end. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, so make sure to subscribe and like the video and share it to someone who isn't subscribed if you are subscribed. But let's get into the final. Obviously, I do videos sometimes on the big games around the season as well, so this isn't just a West Ham channel. But going into it, we saw the lineups. Mohamed Salah and Darwin Núñez were both injured. Now, Núñez isn't the greatest player, but he can come out with a moment. He can come out with chaos. I don't think he will be the same sort of... He won't have the same sort of effectiveness when it comes to whoever is the new manager, because a lot of Klopp's players are very system-based. A lot of Klopp's players are good because of Klopp. But Mohamed Salah, despite his maybe final record, he's a big game player, and he would have finished some of the chances that fell to some other players today. So there was a lot of pressure on people like Conor Bradley, who had to fill it for Trent, Harvey Elliott, Gakpo, and Diaz. And Gakpo wasn't good. I felt sorry for Diaz at the end because he was the only senior player attacking at the end, and he was exhausted at the end. And he did some good moments, but he had some bad moments as well. Harvey Elliott, I actually thought was actually all right. He could have been better, but he was all right. Like, I thought I saw some good moments from him. But let's get on to Chelsea, because Pochettino is surely done. Like, what I need to get first of all, he ignored Todd Bowley, apparently when shaking the hand. I'm not going to look into that too much, maybe just didn't see him. But the quotes: "I'm happy with the effort today. These players are professional. They are very competitive, and now we need to move forward. They need to feel the pain. Nothing you can tell me can make me feel better. Nothing." Okay. We are a young team, nothing to compare with Liverpool, because they also finish with young players. So why bring it up? This sounds like Arsenal fans when they lose a game every time. Pochettino at extra time. The players started to lose their energy. The team felt maybe penalties would be good for us. Christ, the mentality. I've already seen this been said, but if you look at managers, they install a mentality. It's black and white when it comes to Pochettino versus Klopp. They instill a mentality in their team. Then everyone believes in it, from the fans all the way down to the players. Meaning, you can build a fortress from your own stadium. Then you start winning games. You start building your own legacy, your own dynasty. But it doesn't stop at Pochettino. If we go on to the owners, the directors of football that are at the club, they have got in a lot of... I can't just base it off inexperience, but it feels like you're throwing money at a lot of players that are not going to be able to develop or settle because they haven't played with each other before. But the more you keep buying these players, the less familiar these people are going to become familiar with. Now, you can see good individual talent in Malo Gusto, Cole Palmer, but that's it. And maybe in Kunku, but he's been very unlucky with injuries. Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo need to do better. Conor Gallagher, he wasn't bought by the club, but he was kept. But Pochettino would keep him, and the club are trying to sell him now. I don't think Conor Gallagher is good enough for Chelsea in general. But what I will say is that if a manager keeps playing the player, why using him to sell for FFP? So you can tell that the board and the manager aren't already aligned. And this goes back to when Thomas Tuchel was here, when he wanted a little bit of control. He didn't want full control over transfers, etc., which he kind of had to be because there was not much of a structure at the time because the ownership was very new. There was no alignment there either. Todd Bowley wanted Ronaldo, Tuchel didn't want Ronaldo, whatever. But there's nothing there. There's no chemistry there between the board to the manager to the players. You all need to be on the same page. if you want to win things, if you want to challenge for things. How Pochettino is still here is amazing to me. Because they are mid-table, and at Chelsea, they were mid-table last season. So people will look at this and be like, well, it's not the manager. They had 2 managers last season, and it didn't work out. Well, whoever's appointing these managers, you assume is the director of football, are not very good with their manager ID. And that is not hard to tell. I don't really understand what the tactics are on the pitch. If we go down to the players, they should have had about 4, 5, 6 goals as well. It was a typical Liverpool-Chelsea final where both teams missed chances. And the only goal they scored was offside. And you can, by the way, I know a lot of people say that's onside. You can tell it was offside. At first I thought it was on. But you can tell from when Jackson's foot is, where Jackson's foot is, it's further forward than Canate's. Regardless, both teams had a disallowed goal, so you can't use the refs as an excuse. You can't use VAR as an excuse. And regardless, in general, you shouldn't use VAR as an excuse. There's 90 minutes on the pitch. There's decisions to be made when it comes to conceding goals and scoring goals. So, Chelsea are fucked. The reason why Chelsea are fucked is because they're not going to get someone who... It's not even necessarily serial winner. It's someone that can get the best out of the squad that they have. So, and you need someone with authority that's like, I want these players. Like the players they want, they're very assertive of what they want. Rather than, I'll just take anyone sort of thing. I'm going to have to put up with what I have sort of thing. Now, I don't understand it. I don't understand anything to do with Chelsea. Liverpool, yeah, they deserve to win because they put their chance away. Because both teams missed chances, so it comes down to the bare minimum. Who is going to actually, rise to the occasion? And Virgil van Dijk rose to the occasion, and Tsimikas probably not going to get enough credit for his corner, but deserve credit. Disasi, I'm pretty sure that was his man. I haven't looked at the goal back, but I'm pretty sure that was his man, so he could have done better. A guy who put in a great performance against Manchester City away from home was talking about Chelsea are not back yet, which is the right mentality to have, because a draw at the Etihad does not mean anything. But he had a bad performance today. I'm not going to go too in on him because this is his first season in the Premier League and to keep the same energy for everyone. But you take the rough with the smooth. I didn't really see the point of Disasi in the first. I didn't watch him at Monaco or anything like that. But if you was going to sign a centre back and get rid of Chalobah in the squad, even though he's just came back to the squad now, you needed to get someone that was way better than Chalobah. Because when I was looking at Chelsea, they needed a striker way more than a centre back. Now, Nicholas Jackson could become good one day. I think he's got a good skill set, and I think, in my opinion, he's actually decent off the left. But you need a bagsman. Now, for now, I would play Jackson on left, Palmer behind Nkunku, and whoever you want to play on the right. Maybe even this is going to be unpopular, but screw it. I don't know where Cardi Chukwuemeka is. I don't know whether he's injured again. But when he comes back, you play him in the centre, play Palmer on the right, and Nkunku false nine, Jackson on the left. Just let them play. Because these are 4 players that are going to be at the club in the future. So just let them get used to each other. Now, I don't know who Chelsea should get. I'm not a director of football of any club. So when people ask me about my club, about David Moyes, and ask me who I want, I don't know who's realistic anymore when it comes to my club. And I'm not a director of football of Chelsea Football Club. It's not my job, so I don't know who they should get. What I do know is that they're fucked. They might finish above us. I've maintained the fact that we'll finish above them. But Pochettino it's very typical of you to lose the final. This is built in you. It's Poch heritage. It's Poch heritage. And when it comes to a final, whether you want the underdog mentality, whether you want the favourites mentality or not, a final's a final. Anything can happen. You got to take advantage of anything that can happen. But he didn't. Chelsea didn't take advantage of anything. He didn't run into... They didn't, like, exploit enough space. They didn't put their chances away. It was very reliant on their right-hand side to create anything. People like Sterling, that is experienced. People like Enzo Fernandez has played in the World Cup final. Like, big players, that the Ben Chilwell, for God's sakes, he's played in Champions League final. Like, these three players that I mentioned have got to step up. Credit to Petrovic, didn't do anything wrong. Probably kept the score down. Levi Colwill, had an erratic start. Didn't really have much to say about him after that. But apart from that challenge right at the start where he clapped McAllister, I didn't have much to say about him after that because he did well and then he overplayed. Disasi had a bit of a bad game. Gusto had a bit of a shaky start, but had a really good game overall, and is a really good player. And Kuku's a really good player, but they've got to make sure that they don't overwork him and injure him again. Now, I don't know where Chelsea go from here. I have no idea. But at the end of the day, this is what Chelsea are right now. It's not the same Chelsea that we as neutrals grew up on. It's not the same Chelsea that Chelsea fans grew up on. Long may it continue, because I'm a West Ham fan. I do not care about about Chelsea's problems. I want them to suffer. But yeah, I don't know where they go from here. But congratulations to Liverpool as well. The 6 youngsters. I think it was 6. No, it was 3 youngsters that came on. Sands, McConnell, and Clark that came on. I know Kwanzaa, you can count him as well, but he's been in the first team for a bit. Credit to him as well for coming on for Konate. Obviously, Harvey Elliott's really young. And Conor Bradley, of course, started. He's been in the first team for a bit as well. Like, credit to them. To make an effect, obviously Bobby Clark took the shot that got deflected, that went out for the corner. That ended up being a goal. I think that Sands guy, he has to come up for Luis Diaz at the end for the left wing, and he put his body about, and he will learn with time on what he can improve on with movement, with decision making, but to not bottle it and to play with a good mentality, play with freedom, play like you've played for Liverpool for a long time, you've got to give credit. Thought Bobby Clark especially was very impressive. McConnell held his own. So credit to all of them. Credit to Kelleher in goal. I thought he was really good. I think he was probably man of the match for me. Both of the goalkeepers did their job. And listen, Liverpool had a lot of injuries. Like a lot of injuries. Like Conor Bradley was playing in the front three after Gravenberch got injured. Joe Gomez was playing right back so he could facilitate for Conor Bradley. So at one point their front three was Bradley, Gakpo, Diaz. Like, fair enough. This will be interesting to see what happens in the title race, to see whether they can keep this up with the amount of injuries that they have, and especially those tests will come away from home, because at Anfield, you're not going to get tested much unless Man City comes to town, and even then, they beat Man City at Anfield, and they probably will again. But listen, make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new, road to 500 subscribers. My social medias are in the description if you want to follow me on the email for the inquiries. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.